Hey sippers, welcome to our show. While we're spilling, grab your cocktail and start sipping. Get ready to unwind with your girls.
Thank you for joining us for Cocktails and Conversation with your girls. I'm your girl Shataz, and these are my beautiful co-hosts.
Hey sippers, it's your girl, Miss Jones to you.
Hey sippers, it's your girl Primp and Proper. Hey sippers, I'm Shay Marie.
We are here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Make sure you're following us on Facebook and Instagram at Cocktails and Conversations. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now get comfy because tonight we're discussing what is your take on threesomes in a marriage or a relationship? Do you welcome erotic things of that nature in your bedroom? And our sip and spill for tonight is about an Ohio mom who states a Christian school expelled her children for having different fathers.
Rock out with one of the best sweet citrus cocktails ever with this Jolly Rancher vodka lemonade. This beautiful purple punch combines citrus vodka, Jolly Rancher vodka, lemonade, lemon lime soda, and some fruit slices and tastes like a sweet, tangy mixed drink. Okay, so let's try this purple punch. It's good. It's delicious. It's sweet. It tastes like candy and lemonade.
I have lemonade. I put a little cranberry juice for coloring.
Juice, lemonade, the lemon lime soda.
So of course I don't have vodka sippers because I'm pregos. And this tastes so good. But you see how having that type of lemonade, the potent simply makes a whole lot of difference. It tastes delicious, right?
Yeah. It tastes like cotton candy and Jolly Rancher. It's really good. I like it.
I like it. It kind of reminds me of a drink from Sugar Factory.
Without spending the $50.
Right.
I can tell you all like it because you didn't put it down. Normally, you'll take a sip and then it goes right back down.
So sippers, are you one of those couples looking to spice things up in the bedroom? Whether it's bringing in toys or the fantasy of a threesome on the menu, whatever is decided, stepping out of your vanilla way of sex life and basking into a whole lot of spice seasoning? Some may cringe of the ideal and some may give you that way to go. To each his own. No judgment over here. What works for some may not work for all, which brings us to the question of the night. What is your take on threesomes in a marriage or relationship? Do you welcome exotic things into the bedroom?
Okay, so let me take a sip on this one.
Oh gosh, so we need you all the way relaxed.
And I have a disclaimer. Mom, if you're watching, at this point, you can turn the video off. This is not the video for you to watch. Okay? Okay, so for me, I would say yes. I welcome erotic things in the bedroom. And if I were married, definitely I like toys, sex toys, lingerie. I like role playing. I like games. I like games that start early in the day. So if I'm at work, you know, we can start early. You know, while I'm at work, get me ready for when I get home. So definitely recently I would say I've gotten into toys, you know. Like to try the toys, like to maximize the pleasure. But as far as threesomes, no, I'm not there. I cannot. I mean, I would be open to it, but not like sexually. Because, you know, sometimes you can have threesomes, I guess, where your man is not penetrating another woman, but she's just, I don't know, just there in the bedroom. I don't know.
That's a watch. That's a peep show.
No.
Is she performing on you?
No.
So what's your
This is a person.
What would you
Well,
call it?
That would, I don't know if you guys ever have been in these like different, I don't know how they call it. They don't call it a dungeon, but what they do is people who swing, you go to different like garages, or I say garages,
Like a
different
swingers
a swingers club, and what they do is they'll have displays where people are having sex, and you can actually walk by and you can see there, you can view. So it's more like that. It's not necessarily a threesome, but having somebody watch, because some people get turned on by that too.
I mean, that's just me trying to give the viewers an idea of my extent to openness. So I wouldn't necessarily want to be having sex with another man and my husband is in the bed, or my husband having sex with another woman and I'm in the bed. No, not that, but maybe, you know, I don't know. But as far as toys, lingerie, games, alcohol, I like drunk sex. So I'm open to all of that.
Okay. So, I am definitely into toys. I love toys in the bedroom. A lot of people are under the misconception of if you use toys, that means that your partner's not satisfying you. It's nothing like that. It's just if your orgasm is on a 7 or a 10, that toy will bring it to 100. It brings it to another mind-blowing dimension. Sippers, I think that one of the couple of toys that I would recommend, which are my favorite, is the bullet. The bullet is one of the best toys you can have. They've actually upgraded it. They don't do, well, they do have, oh, well, I actually have a picture for the viewers, which will come up. You guys will be able to see how a bullet looks. I was actually going to bring in a couple of toys, but I didn't have time to pick them up. But
Freaky.
no, you gotta spice it up. You gotta spice it up a little bit. So the bullet is one of my favorites, and the technology have been upgraded, so now you can charge them up. You don't have to always batteries in, change the batteries anymore. You can charge it up. And the penis ring is another one of my favorites, and it's a plastic ring that you like that one. Yes. You put on. You see,
I'm sorry. No, because I was just talking about that a few weeks ago with a friend. Yes.
Look, it's we prep. So the penis ring, the penis vibrator is one of my is my second favorite, and you kind of just put it over the elastic over the male's penis, and then it has a vibrator on the bottom, which will vibrate on a woman's clitoris while you guys are having intercourse. I don't welcome the beads. I don't care for the beads. The anal beads. I'm not an anal bead girl, but I have heard that anal beads do feel good. I just don't care to do it.
They go in your anal?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But they have some for the vagina.
They have some for the vagina too. As you can see,
I've never tried those though.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
That's too much work.
That's too what?
Because you got to grip them and hold them in.
Hold them in.
But that makes your muscles strong.
Kegels. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So those two are my favorite. As far as threesomes, me personally, I'm a selfish lover. I would never want to see my husband having sex or having intercourse with another woman, and I wouldn't want him to see. That's disgusting to me. To each his own. No judgment over here, excuse me, but I'm just saying you have to say something so disrespectful for that person never to ask you that. You understand what I mean? Like, or you would turn around, I would turn around and say, oh, you want to have threesome? Let's have it with your best friend. Mm-hmm. That way you know not to play with me like that. Yeah. So, to each its own. I've seen people do that, but me personally, I can't have threesome. I'm not there yet, but I have been at swingers places where.
Oh, you have?
I have been.
I've wanted to go. There was a club nearby a place where I stayed, and I was just so curious, but I never went in. But
you can't honestly go like that. You have to have like this
a membership.
Mm-hmm.
So you was a member?
No, I wasn't. The person that I went with was a member.
Look at Prep.
Well, viewers, I'm the oldest one here, and I feel so lame and boring. I never experienced any toys, threesomes.
Oh, sis, I know what to get you
Oh,
for your birthday.
girl. I'm not gonna say I'm a boring lover now, but if I like you, we could get a little freaky and do things in exotic places. Will I welcome sex toys? Yeah, I mean, if you know how to use them. I don't do anal, so that's not gonna work. Threesomes, I'm like Mrs. Jones. I'm very selfish. I want it all to myself. And I did have someone to ask me to go to a swingers club, and I was like, why? Like, why do you want to go there? Aren't you satisfied? But yeah, I never experienced any toys, but I'll welcome it. I mean, if you guys want to if he want to get freaky, I mean, okay. I got some tricks of myself now, but yeah, I feel boring. I never.
Hold
No,
on, but
that-
have you never used toys because you never cared to? It
I
never
never
been
ca-
brought up. It was just.
I never cared for toys. Yeah,
I don't think you're boring because you don't like toys.
toys.
I just feel like it's just not your thing, or yeah. As for me, like I said, no judgment zone. I don't think I would, if I'm married, because I'm waiting or whatnot. I would never do a threesome. That I just feel like that can't be done. Like, I don't feel like I could bring someone else into my bedroom with my husband. Then it gets complicated. You always see this story, or you know someone that did a threesome, or the person end up falling in love. Either the woman falls in love with the woman, or the man falls in love with the woman. I don't know. It's always crazy, something crazy. As far as the toy thing, I don't think I would invite those things into my bedroom. I'm just saying, because I don't know what I would do. I'm not gonna say never, but at this point, I don't think I would, because I know how important marriage is to me. And it's not to say, oh, my marriage is gonna immediately fall if I bring in those things into my marriage, but it's just like, I don't even wanna give the enemy a footstool.
For what?
No, because you have to think about, like I'm so serious. Like, no, like, okay, like for instance, pornography. That could lead to, my mind is drawn to perversion. I don't want it to get so perverted that you always want that, or you want that climax. Like, so for instance, okay, I'm not a virgin. I remember I was dating this guy for like years, and we started going to the sex store. I promise you, once we invited those things into the bedroom, I always wanted it. And then it got to a point, he was like, bro, like, why you always want that when we doing it? Like, why you can't just, like, we do it regular? Why you always, oh, go get it? Or, so I became kind of dependent because I wanted it to always be at that level. So I don't know. I just feel like it's no need for it. Like, I'm fun, trust me. He gonna be good, trust me. My husband is going to be good. But I just don't feel like I have to.
No judgment. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're married, and you think that
I don't want to say I think. I just feel like I don't even want to try certain things because I already.
you don't want to be nasty with your husband.
But it's me bringing sex toys.
No, I'm not. Let's forget
But
toys.
I could be nasty with other
That's
things.
but that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
though.
yeah, but I just want to invite toys.
Listen to what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say to you is that, okay, so you said the spirit of perversion, and I understand that. What I'm trying to say to you is, let's say we don't bring toys in, right? We don't have no toys, we don't watch pornography, but you nasty with me and my husband real nasty, right? So y'all texting, y'all do it back and forth, y'all sexting or whatever. You think that's a problem with that?
No, I never said that. I was talking about the toy part. Me bringing in toys. I don't think. But that's a natural chemistry between you and your husband. That's like y'all intimacy.
Okay.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. Maybe I'm not articulating it correct.
Toys is a part of perversion.
No, this is the thing. It can lead that way. You just never know which way it could go. Like I said, from my personal experience, when I always needed that in the bedroom and I felt like Yeah, because I always wanted it to get to that level. And I don't know, because let me tell you, I come from a family, we don't have successful marriages. So I just don't even want to give the enemy the footstool. Yeah, what about if I do invite it and it turns out right? It may turn out bad. I don't know. So I wouldn't just, let me
don't wanna
just,
open
I
Pandora's
don't want
box.
to, exactly. It's
Okay,
not
that
that I'm
makes-
totally against it, but I already experienced that. And I already know how I felt at that instance. Trust me, we can be freaky in other ways. I don't have to always invite plastic, and I'm not a fan of like plastic and foreign things anyway.
And I want you to understand, don't think that I was,
Oh,
right.
no,
I just
no,
wanted
no,
to
no.
understand it.
No.
Because you said something about plastic. Me personally, I don't like dildos.
Yeah,
I never
either.
tried
I
that,
don't
and
like
I just
dildos.
never.
Yeah, I'm not a dildo girl. I'm not a masturbating girl.
Me either.
I used to hear it all the time. You don't masturbate. You don't masturbate. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, and it wasn't anything like, oh my gosh, I'm against it. I never craved it so much where I had to be like, oh, I'm gonna do. You understand what? I never did that. Of course, me and my husband, when we're in the room, you do, you do stuff, right, between you and your partner. But I'm just saying, in general, I've never had that. You know how people have urges? Like, I've heard stories where people have urges. I've never gotten to that point where I have
Right.
urges for that.
Urges for what?
Like to say, like, oh my God, I'm thinking about this. I have an urge. I'm gonna masturbate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people feel like, okay, how could you remain celibate for so long? Do you masturbate? And I'm like, no.
Because after a while, you get
want-
used to not
Yeah.
having sex and you don't want it.
And I feel like I don't know, sex is something so deep to me that I understand it. I just don't feel like I could give my body to just anybody anyway.
Girl, this body is backed up.
So, I wanted to ask. Okay, never mind. I forgot. I kind of forgot because I was talking and everything. But okay, so what I wanted to say about the sex toys is that if used in a relationship, it's used to enhance your pleasure, not to take away from your man. Not to make your man feel insecure.
But you never know how that person is going to feel.
And that's what came up in my mind when you were saying the guy was like, why do you need this all the time? So maybe he was feeling insecure that
Yeah.
he wasn't pleasing you by
Because
himself.
I always wanted it to be at that level, enhanced at that level.
Yeah, I would think you felt like I wasn't pleasing you.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And say, for instance, what about if he doesn't mind it, but I get to that point again? Because remember, I already experienced that. So if I bring it into my marriage and I get to that point where, no, I always want it. Like, no, we always got to incorporate that. And that makes my husband feel like, well, maybe I'm not pleasing you. You waited all this time for me, and then you want all this stuff when we get in the bedroom.
But some women have orgasms a different way.
Yeah, that's
some
true.
women have orgasm just from clitoral stimulation.
Right.
And some can have like penetration and have orgasms that way. So that could also be an issue.
Do you guys think threesomes can lead to your mate cheating?
Yeah, I don't want to even share that story. I'll save it for a book. I ain't telling it down.
I have seen where at one of my favorite shows. Come on, y'all know this was my show. This was my show. No, not Be a Mary Jane.
Girlfriends.
Not Girlfriends. Those are my shows. But what? Now y'all just made me miss it out. With Derwin and Melanie, the game.
That's what came in my mind when I was giving my example about threesomes.
Listen.
Melanie invited the girl.
Listen,
In the room.
In the room. I personally don't. I'm not. That is opening up Pandora's box for so much different things. Technically, they say this is what the rule is when you're having a threesome. That when you're having a threesome, you're supposed to have it with someone that you guys are never going to see anymore. Like when you out on vacation and you're never going to run into somebody, that same person again. That's how you're supposed to, quote unquote, have threesomes, right? You're not supposed to know the person, so on and so forth, so it doesn't become a problem in the future. Because at the end of the day, let's just say you bring a girl into, you bring another woman into your bedroom. How about if she's doing things that your husband enjoys, and now it starts to become, well, you know what? We don't need you in the equation no more. Let's meet up. Let's meet up up by ourselves. Well, them two, let them meet up and they end up, engaging in sex. That's the reason why I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to open up Pandora's box. That's the reason why I have to say something so disrespectful to my husband, to warn him, Mr. Jones, you dare not ask me that. So you know what time it is already. But you need to say something so you could get that out the person's mind right away.
Yeah. One last thing, but that's the reason why Melanie brought in another woman, because she was insecure and she didn't feel that she was pleasing him. So she wanted to see like that third person in the room to see what he likes and how she does it. Remember when the woman came, she was like, you can't have sex with him, but she was watching everything that the lady was doing to him to see what he liked and what he didn't like.
Girl, that episode was fire. Y'all remember that episode?
Yeah, it was good.
Melanie shouldn't have did that though. But
You don't think so? I probably would have did it. They didn't have sex.
I don't care. I don't even want you looking at my man.
Yeah.
Don't look at him with his shirt off, because I just scratch your eyeball out. But
Okay, sippers, this story has made headlines over the internet about Summer Grant, an Ohio mom of two, accusing Chapel Hill Christian School for expelling her daughter because she committed adultery. Grant's daughters were dismissed from school with only 30 days left in the semester. Grant was informed by the administrator, John Wilson, that her daughters were expelled because she committed adultery. So, sippers, what are your thoughts? So my thoughts on this, these people are crazy. That's when you have religion and no relationship. That's what my take on it is. How are you going to say just because the mother has two different baby daddies that you're going to expel her kids from school? She's putting them into this school because she's trying to invest in their future by applying to this school. Obviously, it's a good school. But on the other hand, it's their school. They make the rules. And I feel like she should bring them to another school, someone that will accept them. And not even accept them, it's just like how many, that's like kind of like the norm. You can't predict what's going to happen when you get into a relationship with somebody. It's probably not even her fault. You don't even know why she has two different fathers like, I just don't get it. How could they just expel children? How could a child be responsible for the actions of their parents and be punished on that? They probably made friends at this school, loved the teachers, learned. I just feel like if my child went to that school, I would take them out of that school just based off of what I heard.
honestly, this situation is just so funny because you go to a Christian school. What is it? Thou shalt not judge, but you're judging the mom based on actions of, you know, what happened in her past. We all have made decisions in our life that we're not proud of. You could have been in a relationship. It didn't state in the video if the lady was actually married or not, but you could have been married, it didn't work out. You got married again, it didn't work. You know, life happens. So for the kids to be punished based on this, theological idea that people are going to stay. What the heck? It's the stupidest thing that I've ever heard, honestly. It's stupid, it's dumb. I probably would have took my kids right out of that school, because if this is what type of teachings they're putting upon their students, I don't want to be no part. I don't want to play any parts of it.
Yeah. Well, I feel her personal life should not even be a factor into their decision. The important thing is their education. They're there to get an education. What does the mother's personal life, having two baby daddies, have to do with anything? You know, I'm tired of these religions, you know, judging people. It's like you're not better than people. Everybody has a story. Most of these teachers probably have some sneaky stuff going on behind closed doors. The principal himself probably is committing some type of adultery. So why would he even come up with that? Like, it's nonsense. It's stupid. It has nothing to do with their education. I just find it ridiculous. Like, people need to stop judging people based on what they do, because everybody sins and no one's perfect. And these, you know, Christianity, you guys are killing me. Y'all making us look bad. Come on, Christians. You know. So I just think they need to get it together, put those kids back in school,
Right.
and let them get their education.
I feel that there's more to the story that, probably haven't been told, because to expel someone with only 30 days left in the school year, I mean, did you just find out about the situation, or did you know and then wait until this point, maybe for some behavior issue or something, to expel them? So I would like to know if there was like underlying issues, but also some religions believe that if you marry someone and you divorce that person, when you remarry, you're still committing adultery. So because, if you divorce them for some other reason other than infidelity, then once you remarry another person, you're still committing adultery. So I would say that maybe she didn't research the school and their beliefs prior to enrolling her children in the school. She probably thought, okay, this is a Christian school, let me enroll my child, not knowing that there's different denominations of Christians with different beliefs. Also, as a private school, they reserve the right to enforce their biblical beliefs, because in the private school, Christian school system, education is important, but also getting a biblical education. They put it on the same level as a regular education. So when my son started school, I did research local Christian schools in the area, and all of this stuff is in their rules. Like, they have a whole like bylaws of what you can do as a parent, what you can't do. You have to follow, the Bible. You have to believe certain things in the Bible. You have to get pastoral references. So in order for your child to get in school, pastors have to write, reference letters. They call churches to make sure that you're a member of certain churches. Like, it's a whole thing you have to go through to get your child in the Christian school. I have a coworker who her son was enrolled at a big school, like Calvary Chapel. I'm just gonna say it. That's a wonderful, excellent church, and they have a good school system. And unfortunately, this school year, she had to move her son to another private school, because what happened is she got a baby daddy, and they weren't on good terms. So he didn't want to play that role that they put on to initially get him in school. And because he wasn't interested in cooperating to play that role, they wouldn't renew her child if he didn't play that role. So instead of going through that whole process, that screening, she just moved him to another private school. But I say all this to say, if you want your child in a private Christian school, that's why people put their kids in private schools, because they're able to control what their child is being taught and being seen, and people who their child is being around. Like, if you have your child in a public school, like, nowadays they're pushing like I don't want to say it like this, but same-sex marriage, same-sex. Eventually, that's going to be a part of public school systems curriculum, because every child needs to feel equal. So would you be okay with your child learning that in a public school system, or would you want to remove your child from the public school system and put them in a place where you feel they're being taught your beliefs? So that's why you have this whole private, school system.
I don't think, first of all, I don't think, how should I put this? I don't think your child will get a better education at a Christian school rather than a public school. It's all in education. As far as their beliefs, who cares?
But some parents care. That's why they particularly put their child in Christian school, because they want the Christian education in addition to a regular education. That's why they paid the extra money.
But do you really think those, first of all, I know kids who go to Christian schools and they're listening and doing things like public school kids. I mean, they worse than the public school. So what's the difference, honey? You're paying all this money for your child to go to this Christian school, and she's still popping and locking and doing all this other stuff that my child ain't even doing. So what am I paying for? And these Christian teachers are doing the same thing these public teachers are doing, sleeping with the kids and etc. So what are you doing? What are you getting? Your beliefs?
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand. I'm just trying to
I
understand.
guess it's all in perception. They perceive they're getting more. I know a lot of people, I have a few friends who only want their children in private Christian schools. When I talk about my son is in an A school, public
Mine's
school.
too.
But
They be looking at you like, girl.
girl, they like I'm the worst. I let your child go to a public school, you
Yes.
know. But you know, they're getting something out of it, because you wouldn't be paying money if you're not gaining anything. I don't know.
I remember I put my daughter in a Christian daycare, and I took her out of that because she was getting treated at a public daycare. She was getting treated better at a public daycare than the Christian daycare, and I was not happy about that. Wow. They really gave me a different perspective on Christianity and these schools, these private schools. No, ma'am. Public.
But how do you feel about public schools, you know, teaching children? Because nowadays sex education is different
I teach my
from
kids. As long as you're teaching your kids the way you want them to be or grow up in your household, that's what they're going to follow. The first teacher is the parent. So whatever you're teaching them, they're going to adapt to that. Whatever the school's trying to put in my child's head is not going to get far. Not with me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do feel like it's what you teach them at home. If you're not teaching
You're
them
the first
anything at
teacher.
home and you're letting the school implement all the education, all the knowledge, then I don't want to say you failed as a parent, but your child is only going to learn what they teach. And they're going to control how your child comes out. As for me, I feel like when it comes to Christianity, sometimes I'm a Christ follower, because when you say you're a Christian, people are like, you already judgmental. They already look at you as judgmental because their experience with other Christians hasn't been great. So I don't want to say like, oh, it is because they Christian. No, it's just that person. They haven't reached that level of relationship with God that it will extend grace, just like God has extended grace to them. So I can only control how I treat people and how I am as a Christian, and I won't be like that because I know that's not who Christ was. That's not why he came. So I feel bad that she had to go through this, and then that's what pulls people away from the church or from Christianity, from believing, because of people like that.
Well, we would love to keep the tea spilling, but unfortunately, we're running out of time. But you can keep the conversation going by leaving your comments below and on Facebook and Instagram at Cocktails and Conversation.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media. See you Friday night at 8 p.m. for Cocktails and Conversations with your girls.
Good night.